Alright, so remember how I mentioned in the last video that I might need to pull lore from another map for this one? Well, I think I've mostly managed to avoid that. While elements from Mob of the Dead, like the plane and certain character names, show up in Shadows of Evil, it feels more like Treyarch was connecting the maps to enrich Mob of the Dead's story, and just overall expand on the narrative as a whole. At this point, Treyarch was clearly taking the story in an extremely huge direction, and that's really the only way I can describe it. This video picks up right where Origins left off, focusing on what I'll now call the Primus crew, specifically Richtofen. There's a lot happening with him in between Origins and Shadows of Evil. Things are about to get a little bit complicated, so bear with me. Richtofen is transported to the physical manifestation of the ether, where he reunites with Maxis and discovers a psychic-like connection with a man named Samuel Stuhlinger. Together, they devise a plan to locate the Chronorium and the summoning key. Richtofen then travels to Dimension 63 and enlists Stanley Ferguson and the Illuminati to construct a lab beneath Alcatraz Island. Once the lab is complete a year later, Richtofen directs Samuel and his group to retrieve the Chronorium. Returning to the lab with them, Richtofen reads the Chronorium and learns about timelines and what we call the blood vials. He notes in the book, "I know what I must do." Using a rift, Richtofen collects blood samples from Samuel's group via a zombified version of himself from another universe, and obtains additional blood from 2 Alcatraz prisoners. He delivers the prisoners' blood to an earlier version of himself, before Origins took place, saying that he will need them. After returning to the lab, Richtofen cryo-freezes Samuel and his group for later use. Shortly after, an older version of the Primus crew arrives, and Richtofen hands them the blood vials. Once they leave, Richtofen identifies the location of the summoning key in Morg City. Still with me? Take a breather if you need to. Thankfully, the next chapter is less weird, I guess you could say. A man named Dr. Rapt hires a reporter to recover artifacts from Russia and the South Pacific. Following this event, Nero Blackstone falls into a coma after a failed magic stunt, during which his wife takes out a loan in his name. Back to the reporter. He informs Mr. Rapt that he has acquired all of the artifacts, including the summoning key. Rapt then instructs him to speak with a retired Alcatraz guard, Stanley Ferguson, who provides details about the inmates who were killed at Alcatraz. Rapt then directs the reporter to Morg City. In 1944, a meteor shower occurred over Morg City, after which mold began spreading throughout it, causing illness and delirium among the people. Whispers and chanting are reported by residents, apparently coming from beneath the city. The reporter learns of the Keepers, who are described as forces preventing the apocalypse. At Rapt's request, the reporter identifies 4 individuals from Morg City: Nero Blackstone, Jessica Rose, Floyd Campbell, and Jack Vincent. Dr. Monty advises the reporter not to give the summoning key to anyone. Meanwhile, Jessica discovers a photographer has compromising photos of her. Rapt, posing as a company executive, informs Nero's lawyer about the loan and gives Nero 2 weeks to settle the debt. Nero plans to kill his wife for her life insurance to cover it. Rapt then pretends to be an internal affairs officer, convincing Jack's partner to confess that Jack is a corrupt cop taking bribes, prompting Jack to plan to kill the snitch. Rapt again acted as a film producer, offers Jessica a lead role, which leads her to believe the photographer's photos will ruin her career, motivating her to plot his murder. Rapt again poses as a reporter, calling Floyd a journeyman fighter. Floyd, determined to win his next match, decides to use brass knuckles to secure the victory. The next day, all 4 individuals missed critical calls that could have stopped their plans. Jessica's producer informs her that the original lead role fell through, but he secured her a part in a musical. Nero's lawyer reveals the repayment documents were forged. Jack's partner assures him of support, and Floyd's promoter a legitimate shot at the title. Unaware of these developments, all 4 follow through with their plans, resulting in murder.
Hey, you. I know I yelled at you real bad. I know I said some things I shouldn't have said. But I was just angry. Upset. You know how close I am to this movie deal. I mean, they know about my dancing, but those pictures... You don't want to mess up my chance for stardom, do you, baby? What do you say? You bring over those prints and we can... make up.
Hey, we got a problem. A big problem. The mayor's trying to make a name for himself, sticking his nose where it don't belong. He's looking into Allegations of police bribery. What do you say we get together at the usual joint? Talk things through. Figure out a way to put this to bed before it gets out of hand. Trust me, have I ever steered you wrong before?
I ain't fought in 18 months. I'm stepping in at the last minute. I only got 2 weeks to train. But the outcome ain't in any doubt. See, I ain't leaving nothing to chance. He may be the #1 contender, but his career ends tonight. Just make sure the ref knows to look the other way, because this ain't gonna be pretty. But once it's done, once you collect your debts and your bets, I get my shot at the title.
I do understand the seriousness of the situation. Why else would I be talking to my lawyer? But just to be clear, can you please tell me precisely how much debt my wife has accumulated? Do you happen to know if our life insurance policies are fully paid up? No, no. I can assure you, I'd never, ever think of taking such a course of action. No, I just want to make sure that our affairs are, in order.
Jessica kills the photographer, Nero kills his wife, Jack kills the snitch, and Floyd kills his opponent. On the same day, Richtofen arrives in Morg City, seeking the summoning key. He confronts the reporter, who refuses to relinquish it, following Monty's guidance. The confrontation escalates, and the reporter is killed in self-defense. Shortly after, Nero, Jessica, Jack, and Floyd are at the Black Lace Burlesque when they are suddenly knocked unconscious.
I have been watching. I have seen each and every one of your misdeeds. I know who you are. But questions remain. Why do you do the things you do? Do you not see the futility of your tiny, insignificant existence? You are but fragments of a bigger universe. Your sins serve only as an invitation. An invitation to an evil beyond your imagination. I'll lead the way. I will show you the path. Only through me, the Shadowman, will you find your redemption.
They awaken in a twisted pocket dimension version of Morg City, where Mr. Rapt addresses them. He reveals his true identity as the Shadowman and offers them a chance to atone for their sins. He instructs them to use the summoning key to perform rituals, each requiring a sacrifice of someone close to them: Jessica's producer, Nero's lawyer, Jack's partner, and Floyd's promoter. The group completes the rituals, battling the keepers along the way, and is then directed to take the gateworms obtained from the sacrifices to the sacred place beneath the city. There, they are told they can stop the destruction of their world. However, upon completing another ritual in the sacred place, they inadvertently open a rift, allowing an ancient evil, the Apothicons, to emerge. The Shadowman thanks them for their service and reveals his true form, beginning the destruction of their dimension. Realizing their mistake, the four work alongside the Keepers to trap the Shadowman inside the summoning key. Once successful, the Keepers return the summoning key to the group. At this moment, Richtofen appears, seizing the summoning key from them. Apologizing, he declares that he must set a universe right, and departs through a rift, leaving the dimension to be consumed by the Apothicons. After studying the Canorium, Richtofen embarks on a mission to capture his soul. Not his current soul, but one of an alternate version of himself. He travels to a dimension where he meets a younger, much younger, version of himself, earns his trust, and then kills him to transfer the soul into the summoning key. This is an act he regrets, but it had to be done. Richtofen then delivers the soul to the Aether's physical manifestation, the house. There, Monty gives the soul a new physical form. Since the child was already pure, no purification was needed, as was with Sam. Richtofen is then transported to the original dimension, where everything began, where Sam became corrupted by the Dark Aether, where her real father went mad, and where the Earth was completely destroyed. And that's where I'll leave things from now. The story keeps getting deeper, and twists and turns in every dimension. There's still so much more to uncover. Stay tuned for the next video, where we'll dive even further into the madness. Until then, do the things, hit the like button, subscribe, and all that weird shit, I guess. Keep your eyes peeled for what comes next. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. See you in the next one.